You know what? It's one thing to blame gaming on your bad parenting, but nah, fuck that. We're not blaming bad parenting on gaming anymore. Oh, did I say that backwards? I think I did. The point is, it's not your bad parenting fault. It's your relative's fault. This is a story time basically how I got blamed for pretty much trying to save my dog from getting hit by a car because she kind of ran off with another dog. And my niece kind of followed me, and it's a huge situation. And the best thing is to just get right into it. So if you're ready for it, please sit down. I guess I don't know. If you're sitting down already, good. Roll the intro. Alright, this story took place a little bit longer ago, but not too long ago. Basically, I didn't want to tell this story at the time because I was worried about doing a different type of genre. Basically, I wasn't really too worried about story times, but this is actually a really good story to tell. So, I feel like a lot of people know this, that I work two jobs. I work one job that's down the street from me. Pretty much I use that as like a side hustle. And then I have my main job that's work for a shipping company. I don't know why I don't know why, but I don't like saying where I work for reasons. I don't know why. Even though it could be like the most popular place. Like I didn't work at McDonald's, but I could work at McDonald's and then wouldn't even want to say the name. That's just me. So I worked at this shipping company, right? And it starts really early in the morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I have to be up and ready by 3, catch an Uber if at the time I was catching Uber. But I have to catch an Uber like as early as possible because I don't know when I'll be able to make it there. So pretty much whenever I get a ride, I decide to make it. So I get a ride to work, I do my work, and it's really hard backbreaking work. So I go home, I walk to the bus station, take the bus home, and by the time I get home, I decide, you know what, let me go ahead, take the money from my second side hustle job because they only pay me in paper money. Let me throw that on my card real quick and then I can head home. So I walk down to my local store. I ask them if they can put some money on my Cash App card. They hit it up for me and then I get on my way. That's kind of important, but not really. So I walk past my second job, my little side hustle, and they stop me for a second, and then they start talking to me again. This is two people that have stopped me right now. This is two things that have stopped me from going straight home. So I start talking to them for a little bit, and eventually they make a joke or something like that, saying, "Oh, you just got off your second job. What, are we not good enough for you?" Just small, stupid jokes. And that conversation lasts for about a good 5 minutes. After that, I cross the street again, and I head on home. It's literally down the street, so it's not that far from me. As I'm walking down the street, I see a different type of dog. Now, my dog is a rescue. She kind of just came to us. A car dropped her off one day. She ran to us, and we kind of just accepted her and took her in as she was our own dog. But this dog was completely different. The dog that we had was black and a female. This dog was white and a boy. Now, nothing wrong with skin tone on a dog. I mean, it's a dog at the end of the day. We don't need to really make that big of a deal out of it. The point is, these are two completely dogs, so it was very noticeable. And as I'm coming around the corner, this dog is running towards the corner. So I see him pretty quickly. Like, our timing was just perfect. So I don't get that much of a good look at him, but I see that there's something around his neck. Like a rope or something around his neck. I can't really tell. It could have been a collar, it could have been rope. Not 100% sure, but I could tell that something was around his neck. So I start chasing him around a little bit to see what it is. And eventually I get tired because I just worked. I don't really want to do this right now. So I decide to take the easy approach and go inside and get some food. So before I can even get my stuff off, I still got my jacket on. Like, I still have everything on. My ID, my wallet, everything on me right now. And I see that our dog is out of the house. Like, she's walking around. And then next I see my niece. I look over and I see there's a car. Well, my sister's car currently wasn't working at the time, but you could still get in and out of it. And I see her just sitting in the car. And I'm like, okay, she's right there. My niece is right there. The dog is right there. It's fine. I can go inside. So I go inside and I see my mother. And I start talking to her a little bit, telling her how my day was and all this stuff. And I was like, hey, can I give some food, some of the dog food, to this white dog so I can get him to come closer to me and pretty much see his name tag. See if he has one, see if I have a number that I can call, tell him like, hey, your dog is here. You know, pretty much trying to get this dog trust so I can get him back home. Because one, our dog isn't fixed. That dog also wasn't fixed. These two can have sex and have babies. We don't want that. So basically, I just want this dog pretty much get his name tag and just pretty much make it so that I can just get him back to his owner. But as I was asking her that question, like, hey, can we give dog food to the dog? My niece come running in and saying, our dog, Peppermint, just ran down the street with the other dog. What? So I'm confused and I go out and neither one of the dogs are there. And then I go off to the corner of the street. We live on this dead end. So it was pretty easy to tell which way they went. So I start heading towards the main street. And I realize that the dogs are literally all the way up there. Like they're just barely in the eye's frame. So I'm like, crap. So I just take off up the street. And I'm going, and my only focus are the dogs. I want to get them out of the street. Because I see them in the street and cars are stopping. So I herd them back to the other side of the street. Hey, anything is fine as long as I can get them out of there. So they're on the sidewalk now. And as we start walking back to my house, I look behind me and I see there's something behind me. It's my niece. My niece is just sitting there chilling behind me. And I'm like, what are you doing right here? And as I take my eyes off them, my mother comes out and I don't know why. I don't understand what does dogs have with me chasing them. But this isn't the first dog that ran away. And apparently whenever my mother comes out and calls their name, they just go right to them. So she comes out and she starts calling their name. And Peppermint runs directly across the street again. And I turn around and I heard the tire street. Like, you know when someone steps on their brake to you know what the sound it is. Like the tire screeching. 1 second. I put a sound clip in. Y'all gonna know what it is. But you probably already know already. I'm probably just doing extra work for no reason. But I hear that and I turn around and I see my dog just standing in the front of the car. And I'm like, oh my lord, we are about to see an American tragedy. I'm about to start crying today. There's one thing that I don't like, and that's animals getting hurt. I don't like to see animals getting hurt, especially ones that can't defend themselves. So, seeing this really cute, lovable dog, like this dog is not aggressive to anyone. She's really playful. She loves to be rubbed, and she has a really big fear of being abandoned. And just seeing her almost get hit, I don't know what I was doing, but I just took off towards her. My goal was to grab her and run across to the house. But the problem was my niece is still on the other side of the street. So I turn around, yell at her to stay put, and I run and go get the dog. But the dog is already heading towards the house. So I pretty much did this for no reason. So I pretty much make sure this dog is good. And then I have to go back and see that the white dog has already ran off. I don't know where he's at anymore, but he's already long gone. So I see my niece on the other side of the street and I say, all right, wait there. Sorry. And I go, all right, wait there. I'm coming back to get you. And it was as if I said that on cue, that now her mother, who was in her car the whole time, is coming out yelling at me, saying, why is her baby on the other side of the street? Why didn't I stop her? Hold on. Let's backtrack a little bit. Let's backtrack just a little bit. You mean to tell me you were in the car the whole time? You saw your niece running after me, and you didn't decide to stop her right then and there? You saw your niece following me, and you didn't stop her? So as I'm running across the street to go and get my niece and walk her back home, I now have to deal with her angry black mother now yelling at me, saying how it's my fault. I should have been focused on my surroundings. I should have been paying more attention to her baby, when she could have just, like, I don't know, stopped her right then at the house when she first started following me. Her fault. It's my fault. I should have been paying more attention. So now I have this angry black mother to deal with, when really honestly I don't even care, because I almost saw my brand new dog, who had a horrible life at that. She was like used for fighting or something, abused and breeding, I don't know. But a lot of bad things were done to her, and now I have this angry black mother yelling at me when this dog almost got hit. So you can tell that this was the least of my concern, and for some reason, she did not like this. She left and went to go yell at her child next, so I came in and started talking to my mom, telling her about what happened and all this stuff. And then here she come back for round two saying, so did you just not see her following after you? She wasn't really my concern. Now, no disrespect, I love my niece. Even though she gets on my nerves a lot, I still love her and I don't want to see her get hit by a car. But it was honestly a 50-50 chance. It was either she gets hit or the dog gets hit. And I honestly put my niece's life before hers and told her to stay put, and then went for the dog. It was literally just I make a choice in that situation. Not much I could have done. From what I actually noticed, she was behind me. By the time I was on the other side of the street, I noticed she was behind me and I couldn't really do much. So eventually she stopped yelling at me and I explained the whole situation to my mother, finished explaining it. And she goes, don't lose any sleep over it. It's really nothing. Just try to go get some sleep because I know you're tired. Which, once again, I still got my jacket on. I still got my ID. I still got everything on me right now. Like, I didn't take anything off. Eventually, the dog comes back and, she goes in her cage. She's on punishment. But basically, I got yelled at because I didn't watch my niece. Which, that still dumbfound me till this day. That's the end of my story. I don't really have a moral of the story considering it's so obvious. If you have kids, please watch them and don't expect other people to do that. If you have kids, you're taking on every single responsibility that comes with them. And I do mean every single one of them. So don't try to push them off on somebody else and try to make it somebody else's problem. You have a kid, please watch your kid. That's the end of my story. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like. If you didn't enjoy, please leave a dislike. Also, comment down below if you have any similar experience with this. I love reading people's comments as much as I get them, considering I don't really get them. But when I do, I always try to respond, or I try to leave a heart on them. Just pretty much, you support me. Whatever little support I get, I accept and I love. So if you just even leave a thumbs up or a small comment, that does a lot for me and it makes my world. And it puts me one step closer to being a full-time YouTuber. So once again, if you liked the video, please like. If you didn't like the video, please dislike. And if you like the video and check out a little bit more, maybe consider subscribing, because once again, you are making my world. Thank you and have a good one. Peace out.